But if you've ever experienced that feeling of being so in the music and so present with it that you almost are transported somewhere else, then you know what I mean. And that feeling can never arrive. It can never be experienced if you are constantly judging yourself, critiquing yourself, overthinking every sound that you make. Welcome to Singer-Songwriter, a space to reconnect with your voice, your music, and the songs waiting to be written. I'm Lainey, singer and songwriter, voice and creativity coach. If you've ever dreamed of writing and singing your own songs, but doubt or perfectionism keeps getting in the way, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to open your voice, trust your sound, and express yourself freely. Your songs are waiting. Let's bring them to life. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lainey. I'm your host, and we like to talk about singing and songwriting and the creative process, what it is to live a creative life as an artist. Finding that inner confidence to share your voice, share your music, to write with truth and honesty, and sing the songs that only you can. So if you are into that kind of conversation, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. If you are enjoying these conversations and have been listening a while, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know how this is resonating for you, what you're loving, what you want to hear more of. What questions do you have? How can I better support your creative journey and your voice, your songs, your music? You can do that by leaving a review for the podcast. Go to Apple Podcasts, scroll down to write a review, and leave your 5 stars along with a little message for me. And I love to hear your feedback. Really, your honest feedback can really help me to bring you the best teachings and topics. And also, if you ever have questions or ideas for episodes that you would like to hear, you can always write me at hello@reawakenyourvoice.com, and I will personally read your email and respond to it. So today we're talking about vocal confidence in your singing voice. And this may not be in the way that you expect, because when we think about confidence, we usually think that we need a better voice, a stronger voice, a more polished voice. We need more practice, more of those vocal warm-ups. We need to work on our vocal technique. But what I have found over and over again over the years is that confidence has less to do with improving our voice, improving our instrument itself, and more to do with learning to stay on our own side while we sing. So I want to talk about that today. I've often had clients come to me wanting to gain more control over their singing voice, which is understandable because you want your voice to do what you want it to do when you open your mouth, right? But as we work on that control, what they inevitably learn is trust, how to trust their voice. This idea of trust comes up again and again throughout the creative process in general. But when we're talking about singing, using our voice to express something real. It's so much more about trust than we realize. We talk about trusting the creative process, trusting the song, trusting the timing of your creative life and the season that you're in. And eventually, we have to trust the instrument that's carrying all of that. We have to learn to trust our voice. Today, I want to explore 4 ideas. The first being why vocal confidence isn't really about having a better voice. Secondly, what happens when we step outside ourselves and let that inner critic take over? Third, how learning to stay on our own side changes our relationship with singing. And fourth, a simple practice to take into your own singing this week. So my first point is that confidence is a practice in trust. Vocal confidence isn't really about having a better voice. It's about learning to trust your instrument, learning to trust the voice that you have, learning to trust your voice enough to let it exist, to let it be heard. So that can mean many different things. It could mean pressing record. It could mean singing at an open mic or posting a clip of yourself online. It could mean singing in church or singing for one trusted friend. It can look a lot of different ways for a lot of different people, but they're all expressions of the same thing. It's this expression of trust. Because when you go to press record, when you step up on stage at the open mic, when you open your heart to another human and say, hey, look at this thing I created. Will you listen? That is an act of vulnerability that requires trust. Yes, it requires courage, and it requires trust. Trusting yourself enough to let your voice be heard. My second point is to stay on your own side. So often when we're singing, we will have this moment where we step outside of ourselves and the inner critic takes over. And that knocks you out of the present moment. You're no longer in the music, experiencing the music. You are outside of it, looking in, trying to judge it as it's happening. And I've noticed this in myself over the years, where there's this temptation to step outside of myself and put on the critical hat, the inner critic hat, to become more of the observer or the evaluator, the judge, the critic, instead of just being the singer. The moment we begin judging ourselves, we've left ourselves. We've stopped being the singer. And now we have become that inner critic. But it's almost like pulled to the outside, looking in. But rather than experiencing the music, being in it, we're evaluating the performance. And music isn't created from that place. It's created from presence, from allowing ourselves to become part of the music, allowing the music to become part of us, and in a way, almost losing ourselves in it. And yet I'm saying, stay with yourself, or I'm saying, stay with yourself. It may seem contradictory, but if you've ever experienced that feeling of being so in the music and so present with it that you almost are transported somewhere else, then you know what I mean. And that feeling can never arrive. It can never be experienced if you are constantly judging yourself, critiquing yourself, overthinking every sound that you make. So the question is, can you stay with your own voice? Can you remain curious instead of critical? And can you offer yourself the same grace that you would naturally extend to another singer? This is the question I come back to again and again, because I naturally extend grace when I'm listening to others. And over time, I've learned to extend myself that same grace. But for a long time, it was not easy to give that to myself. So stay on your own side. Give yourself that grace to hear the beauty in your own humanity when listening to your own voice. This imprint of your heart and soul in sound. How beautiful. My third point is to listen differently. Instead of asking, did that sound good? Did I sound good? Did my voice sound good enough? The more important questions to ask are more along the lines of, did I tell the truth? Did I express something real from the heart? Did I stay connected to my heart, connected to myself in the music? And did I enjoy singing? Did it feel good? You know, those kinds of questions build a very different kind of confidence. It's more about the relationship that you're building with your voice, not about perfection. And my fourth point, I talk about this one a lot. Meet today's voice. Meet yourself where you are. And that means your voice as it is today, not as it was yesterday or how it might be tomorrow, not where it was a decade ago or in some fantasy of what it could be someday, maybe if. Meet today's voice where it is today. You know, there will be some days where your voice feels bright and clear and ringing. And then some days it feels really tired and low and raspy. You know what? Some days your voice will surprise you. But when you meet today's voice, where it is now, in this moment, you don't have to fight your voice. You don't have to fight against what is. That's exhausting. So meeting today's voice comes back to trusting today's voice, trusting that it can also express beauty and truth and love and joy and all, whatever you're going for, whatever you're trying to express. It's there in today's voice. And you trust that one because that's the only one available to sing today. And when else can you sing? If not now, when? If you keep telling yourself, maybe I'll share my voice someday when it sounds better, or once I have improved this part of my technique, or once I have so many practice sessions under my belt. Life is going to pass you by. Another day goes by that you aren't singing. Another week, another month, another year goes by where you're keeping yourself silent when your voice is longing to be heard. So one more time, running through those 4 points. Number 1, confidence is a practice in trust. Number 2, stay on your own side. Number 3, listen differently. And this could also be like ask different questions when you're listening. 4, meet today's voice. Something you can take into your own practice after listening to this. Perhaps next time you sing, notice that moment when the inner critic arrives. And don't fight against it. Don't argue with it. But just notice it show up. And in that noticing, gently return to the experience. Shift your focus back to the heart, to the breath, to the vibration that you're feeling in your body, to the music itself. This will bring you back into the present moment. And that's where music is made. That is where music is created. Be with the music. Be present in the song, in the story that you're sharing, the emotion that you are expressing. If you stay with your voice, you stay with yourself, you stay on your own side, then you stay in the present with the heart. You know, it's easy to think that confidence can come as you become a better singer. But what I have found over many years, time and again, is that the confidence you are longing for is built through practice, through practicing allowing yourself to be heard, practicing coming back to the present moment when you find yourself kind of veering off into that inner critic territory. It's bringing yourself back into the heart of the music over and over again, singing from that place and trusting your voice to meet you there, because you have met your voice again and again where it is today. And that's the relationship you're building with your voice. Your confidence grows every time you choose to stay on your own side. Your confidence grows every time you let your voice exist without demanding perfection of it. And every time you trust your voice enough to let it be heard, it expands in confidence. The secret to vocal confidence isn't a better singing voice. It's learning to trust the one you already have. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.